The Sorting Hat, an old hat that crawls into your mind. It knows your deepest fears, your secret dreams, even the things you try to hide from yourself. Some say it's a Horcrux. But the truth is even more dangerous. Over 1,000 years old, it once belonged to Godric Gryffindor himself. When the four founders created Hogwarts, they faced a question. Who should sort the children into houses? Gryffindor offered his own hat, and together Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin enchanted it. Bravery, wisdom, loyalty, ambition, all bound into the fabric of one hat. Not souls like in a Horcrux, but living imprints of their personalities. That's why it never sounds like just one voice. It's four. Four founders, long dead, and yet still shaping every new generation. We first see it in Philosopher's Stone. The first years tremble as it's placed on their heads, and the hat sings. Every year, a new song, self-written, mocking, warning, sometimes like a prophecy. This is more than magic. It's living history. When you wear it, it feels almost like legilimency. It reads your strengths, your weaknesses, your potential. That's why it saw Slytherin in Harry Potter. Ambition, cunning, will. But Harry chose otherwise. The hat shows the path, but it never steals your choice. So, which house would it have chosen for you? It also hides one last secret. In moments of greatest danger, from its folds appears Godric Gryffindor's sword. From cloth to steel. From a song, salvation. The Sorting Hat is no Horcrux. It's an ancient living being, a guardian of the houses, maybe the most mysterious object in all of Hogwarts. But not every relic whispers to you. Some don't talk, they strike. At the gates of the castle stands a guardian of wood and rage, the Whomping Willow. The wind rustles through its leaves, and suddenly its branches lash out like whips. No warning, no mercy. One strike, and you're down. The Whomping Willow is no tree. It's a trap. Almost 60 feet tall with branches like clubs. It smashes carriages, crushes wagons, swats birds out of the sky. One wrong step, and you're done. But here's the strange part. This tree wasn't planted to defend Hogwarts, but to hide a secret. In 1971, Dumbledore had it placed for Remus Lupin. Beneath its roots lay a tunnel to the Shrieking Shack where Lupin could transform each full moon, away from classmates, safe from harming anyone. The tree was disguise, guardian, and barrier all in one. Without finding the secret knot on its trunk, no one could pass. Harry and Ron crash into its branches in Chamber of Secrets. We laugh, but in truth, it was pure luck they survived. A tree that strikes to protect a child. Brutal, and yet born of compassion. A guardian that defended a secret for decades, and caught in its branches was one of the strangest objects Hogwarts has ever seen. A Muggle car that became more than just a machine. The flying Ford Anglia. With screeching tires, it rips the bars off Harry's window. Weeks later, the Whomping Willow nearly smashes it to pieces. The Ford Anglia is no vehicle. It's a survivor. The light blue Ford Anglia 105E Deluxe, built in 1960, looked like an ordinary car to Muggles. But Arthur Weasley couldn't resist. Fascinated by Muggle technology, he enchanted it, though it was strictly forbidden, and he went overboard. An interior bigger than any garage, doors that locked themselves, an invisibility switch, an engine that started without a driver. And best of all, it could fly. It became a hero when Ron rescued Harry from the Dursleys. With a roaring engine, it tore him out of the cage of his childhood. Later, when they missed the train, it carried them all the way to Scotland, only to nearly be destroyed in the Willow's branches. But that's when it revealed something no other car ever has. It developed a will of its own. It freed itself from the tree, threw Harry and Ron to safety, and vanished into the Forbidden Forest. From then on, it behaved more like a wild animal than a machine. It even saved them from Aragog's army of Acromantulas, before disappearing back into the shadows. Hand on heart, who didn't wish, as a kid, that their car could just take off? Magic breaks rules, and sometimes it gives things a will. That makes them fascinating and dangerous. A car that found freedom. Half machine, half creature. Not a broomstick, not a hippogriff, but a Muggle car turned into a character by magic. But if even a simple car can develop a mind of its own, what about an object created to gaze into your very soul? The Mirror of Erised. What would you see if a mirror didn't show your face but your deepest desire? Fame, love, or someone you've lost? That's the Mirror of Erised. At first glance, just a tall, ornate mirror, but its inscription reveals the secret. Erised stra eru oit ube kafru oit onwosi. Backwards, I show not your face, but your heart's desire. Harry sees his parents. Ron sees himself as Quidditch captain, celebrated and admired. For Hermione, maybe a brilliant career. The mirror shows nothing real, only longing. But that's the danger. The mirror doesn't feed you, it starves you. Some wasted away in front of it, unable to leave dreams that would never come true. Once, though, it became a weapon. When Voldemort sought the Philosopher's Stone, Dumbledore hid it inside the mirror. Only someone who wanted the stone not for themselves but for others could retrieve it. Harry's selflessness made the difference, and saved the world for the first time. What do we know about the mirror itself? Almost nothing. No one knows its maker. No one knows when it came to Hogwarts. Some believe it's older than the castle itself. A relic from a time when magic was born from pure longing. After Harry's first year, it vanished. Since then, it remains a mystery. And maybe that's its true power, not that it shows your wishes, but that it forces you to face yourself. But if a mirror can trap you with desire, what about parchment that reveals the truth? The Marauder's map, midnight. Harry sneaks through the halls of Hogwarts. Footsteps echo, but no one's there. He pulls out an old piece of parchment, taps it with his wand, and whispers, "I solemnly swear that I am up to no good." Suddenly, the parchment comes alive. Every corridor, every room, every person in the castle, revealed in ink. No secret stays hidden. The Marauder's map is no ordinary document. It's a masterpiece of mischief, magic, and rebellion. Not crafted by professors, but by 4 students. James Potter, Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, the Marauders. With this map, they claimed Hogwarts as their own playground. And what a playground! Every secret passage to Hogsmeade, every hidden room, even the tunnel to the shrieking shack beneath the willow. But above all, the map shows something no other magic ever has. The location of every person in the castle, in real time. No mask lasts, no cloak hides. Privacy? Not at Hogwarts. Think you're invisible? The castle sees everything. For Harry, the map became priceless. It revealed that Peter Pettigrew was alive, just a tiny dot, where everyone thought only Ron's Ratscabbers was. It showed Barty Crouch Jr. disguised as Mad-Eye Moody, and it warned him of enemies who would have stayed hidden by Animagus forms or Polyjuice Potion. But even all-seeing magic has limits. In 6th year, it failed with the Room of Requirement. Draco Malfoy vanished inside, and the map stayed silent. As if even Hogwarts wanted to keep some secrets. The Marauder's map is more than a tool. It's the opposite of the mirror. The mirror shows desire. The map shows truth. Desire can kill you. Truth can save you. But if parchment can expose lies, what about a canvas stroke that makes the dead speak? The portraits. Ask the fat lady for the password and you'll see it at once. These paintings have more personality than some students. They drink, they sulk, they sing off-key. In Hogwarts, even the portraits don't stay still. But behind the humor lies something bigger. Wizard portraits are not just paintings. They're memories, trapped in paint and canvas. Not full souls like ghosts, but fragments, habits, thoughts, echoes of a life. That's why they can talk, react, show feelings, even wander from one frame to another. In Hogwarts, they form an invisible network. They whisper messages across corridors, they watch, they gossip. The castle doesn't just live through its stones, it lives through its walls. The fat lady is the most famous. She guards the Gryffindor Tower, demands the password, and if you forget, she sulks, she argues, she refuses entry. A painting with more attitude than many teachers. More important are the portraits of the headmasters. When a headmaster dies, their picture appears in the office to advise their successor. Dumbledore's portrait guided Snape, gave him orders, and helped Harry win. A man dead, yet still shaping events through canvas and paint. But a portrait is never the real person. Rowling says they're more like memories. They repeat what the person knew, act as they would have, but they cannot learn anything new. They are shadows, not souls. 100 eyes on the walls. They don't forget, and they keep talking, even when you're long gone. Hogwarts is full of living objects, hats that think, trees that strike, cars that flee, mirrors that tempt, maps that expose lies, and portraits that whisper forever. But all of these raise one final question. What would your place be in this world? Would you be the teacher who lives on in their office? The curse breaker at Gringotts? Or maybe the Auror who hunts the dark? Find out in my video on every wizarding job explained. And if you don't want to miss the next secrets of Hogwarts, think of this channel like the Marauder's map. The next passage opens with your click.